stop everything. A Harvard astrophysicist just went on record with a statement that's sending shockwaves through the scientific community. Dr. Avi Loeb, former chair of Harvard's astronomy department, has publicly stated there's a 40% chance that 3IATLAS, the interstellar object currently racing through our solar system, is alien technology. Not a comet, not an asteroid. Technology from another civilization. This isn't speculation from a fringe scientist. Loeb directed the Institute for Theory and Computation at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics. He's one of the most cited astronomers in the world. And he just said 4 out of 10 odds that we're looking at an artificial object. Tomorrow, October 29th, we'll find out if he's right. Here's what nobody's telling you. 3IATLAS is venting pure nickel gas. No iron. In the entire history of astronomy, we have never observed this. Nickel and iron are cosmic twins. They always appear together everywhere in the universe, except here. Loeb's response? There is only one place where that exists: industrially produced nickel alloys. That's not a natural comet. That's metallurgy, but it gets stranger. Between July and August, 3IATLAS grew an anti-tail, a tail pointing toward the sun. That violates basic physics. Solar wind pushes material away from the sun, not toward it. Scientists tried to explain it with dust physics and exotic chemistry. Nothing works. Loeb calls it evidence of thrust, as in propulsion. As in braking, tomorrow is perihelion, the moment 3IATLAS gets closest to the sun. And here's the problem. We can't see it. Earth, the sun, and 3IATLAS are perfectly aligned, putting the comet behind solar glare. Loeb calls this suspiciously opportune. If you were an alien spacecraft executing a gravity assist maneuver or releasing probes, perihelion is exactly when you do it. While nobody's watching, the trajectory is too perfect. 3IATLAS entered our solar system at a 4.89-degree angle to the ecliptic plane, where all the planets orbit. The statistical probability of randomly arriving at this angle? Less than 1%. It passed Mars at 800,000 kilometers. It will pass Jupiter within rendezvous range. Loeb's team says this wasn't random. It was planned. But planned by whom? NASA has not released the images. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter's HiRISE camera took high-resolution photos of 3IATLAS on October 3rd. 30-centimeter resolution, the highest we have in deep space. But due to the government shutdown, those images remain classified or unreleased. What did they show? Why the silence? And here's the question that should terrify you. Loeb published a paper titled, "Is 3IATLAS a Trojan Horse?" His hypothesis: this object has the external appearance of a comet, but could be carrying something in its interior. A mothership releasing probes. A reconnaissance mission. He warns we have no protocols for responding to functioning alien devices in our solar system. 0. We're not prepared for this. Let's establish who we're dealing with. Avi Loeb is not a conspiracy theorist. He's published over 1,000 papers and served on advisory boards for NASA and the President's Council on Science and Technology. When he suggested Oumuamua might be artificial in 2017, the backlash was fierce. But he didn't back down. He founded the Galileo Project to search for technological signatures from extraterrestrial civilizations using scientific rigor. Now, with 3IATLAS, he's even more explicit. In an essay published October 28th, he wrote, "I assign a 30 to 40% likelihood that 3IATLAS does not have a fully natural origin. This includes the possibility of a black swan event, where a technological object masquerades as a natural comet." Why 40%? Loeb explained its probabilistic reasoning. When you have one anomaly, you investigate. When you have two, you're curious. When you have multiple documented anomalies that defy explanation, you must seriously consider the alternative hypothesis. Think about it. If there's even a 30% chance we're looking at alien technology, can we afford to dismiss it? Let me walk you through the most disturbing anomalies. Anomaly number 1. Pure nickel gas. The European Southern Observatory detected nickel vapor with complete absence of iron. In stellar nucleosynthesis, nickel and iron form together, always. Every comet, asteroid, and planet we've studied contains both. 3IATLAS breaks this fundamental rule. Loeb's explanation: this was never observed for any other object. The only place we know this exists is in industrially produced nickel alloys. If 3IATLAS were a spacecraft using nickel-based hull plating, solar heating could release pure nickel vapor while iron remains locked in the structure. Anomaly number 2. The anti-tail. Ground-based telescopes observed a tail pointing toward the sun. Physically impossible. Comets have dust tails and ion tails, both pointing away from the sun. Always. That's basic physics. 3IATLAS had a third tail extending sunward. Astronomers tried to explain it as an optical illusion, but the structure persisted for 6 weeks across multiple viewing angles. Loeb's team published analysis. The physics don't support a natural explanation. If material is being ejected toward the sun, it requires thrust. Active propulsion. Why would a spacecraft break? The Oberth effect, burning fuel at perihelion when gravitational potential is highest, is the most efficient method. The anti-tail could be exhaust from a reverse Oberth maneuver. Anomaly number 3. Perfect trajectory. 3IATLAS entered at 4.89 degrees inclination to the ecliptic plane. Given that the Milky Way's disk is misaligned 60 degrees from our ecliptic, the chance of randomly arriving within 5 degrees. Less than 1%. It passed Mars at precisely 800,000 kilometers. It will pass Jupiter's orbital path at a distance, allowing gravitational interaction. These aren't random flybys. They're precisely aligned encounters with the solar system's major planets. Loeb's paper states, the low retrograde tilt offers various benefits to an extraterrestrial intelligence, allowing access to our planet with relative impunity. Anomaly number 4. Extreme age. Spectroscopic analysis suggests 3IATLAS could be 7.6 billion years old. Our solar system is only 4.6 billion years old. 3IATLAS might predate our entire planetary system by 3 billion years. If it's natural, the chemistry should reflect that ancient origin. But if isotope ratios analyzed post-perihelion show industrial processing signatures, enriched uranium, specific fractionation, we have our answer. Anomaly number 5. Perihelion eclipse timing. 3IATLAS reaches perihelion tomorrow at precisely the moment when Earth, the Sun, and the comet are aligned. We cannot observe it. Every telescope on Earth is blind due to solar glare. Loeb calls this suspiciously opportune. If you were planning a clandestine maneuver, releasing probes, executing a braking burn, changing course, perihelion during solar eclipse from Earth is when you do it. Maximum gravitational assist, maximum efficiency, minimum observation. We won't be able to reobserve 3IATLAS until late November. If its trajectory has changed or if probes have been released, we won't know until it's too late. Let me be clear about what Loeb is suggesting. He's not saying aliens are invading. He's proposing a hypothesis grounded in logic and data. The Trojan horse hypothesis states, 3IATLAS could be a technological object designed to appear natural, potentially carrying probes or instruments, intended to study our solar system while minimizing detection. Why would an advanced civilization do this? Reconnaissance. If you want to study a planetary system that might harbor intelligent life, you don't announce your presence. You observe quietly. A probe disguised as a comet would go, unnoticed for months before anyone questioned its nature. This connects to the dark forest hypothesis, a DT Cree solution to the Fermi paradox suggesting civilizations. Hide because revealing your location invites danger. If the dark forest is real, first contact wouldn't be a friendly radio message. It would be silent reconnaissance, probes disguised as natural objects. And if that's the case, the fact that 3IATLAS exhibits technological signatures might not be sloppiness, it might be intentional. A message to civilizations advanced enough to notice. And here's the terrifying part. We have no protocols. NASA has procedures for detecting radio signals from distant stars. SETI has frameworks for interpreting messages. But a physical object in our solar system exhibiting anomalous behavior? There's no playbook, no international agreement, no chain of command. Loeb stated on Fox News yesterday, "As far as I know, there are no protocols for responding to the discovery of functioning alien devices near Earth." So what happens tomorrow, October 29th, 2025? Perihelion. 3IATLAS will reach its closest point to the Sun at 1.4 astronomical units at approximately 2 p.m. Eastern Time. If it's a natural comet, we expect several things. Maximum outgassing activity will occur. Thermal stress could cause fragmentation. The object should brighten by 1 to 2 magnitudes. Extended tails will become visible in late November, and the trajectory should continue on its hyperbolic escape path with no major course changes. But if Loeb is right and it's technological, the signs would be different. We might see controlled venting in a managed pattern. No catastrophic fragmentation. Structural integrity maintained. Probe releases using perihelion's gravitational potential. Course changes during the solar eclipse. Or radio transmissions between 3IATLAS and deployed probes. Any of these would be smoking guns. The problem? We won't see any of this in real time. Earth-based telescopes can't observe during perihelion due to solar glare. Space-based assets are pointed elsewhere. We're flying blind during the most critical 12 hours. Most scientists disagree with Loeb. They argue 3IATLAS is an unusual but natural comet. Dr. Matthew Knight from the Naval Academy says the brightness variations are consistent with rotational, modulation, and outgassing. Dr. Hawk from SETI argues the spectral signature matches D-type asteroids and cometary composition. But here's what they don't address: the pure nickel without iron, the anti-tail persistence across viewing angles, the ecliptic alignment probability, and the perihelion eclipse timing. These are the anomalies that don't fit the natural explanation. Loeb would say we have documented anomalies, each individually unusual, collectively unprecedented. That's not proof, but it's sufficient evidence to justify serious investigation. Dismissing the possibility without investigation is unscientific. Here's what happens next. Tomorrow, 3IATLAS reaches perihelion. In 2 weeks, we'll be able to re-observe it. In February 2026, Europa Clipper's data from the ion tail encounter will be analyzed. By this time next year, we'll have definitive answers. Will we discover it was an unusual but natural comet, ultimately explicable through known physics? Probably. Nature is endlessly creative. Or will we find isotope ratios showing industrial processing, trajectory changes requiring active propulsion, probe deployments, structures visible in high-resolution imagery? Loeb has put his reputation on the line with his 40% estimate. That's a high number for such an extraordinary claim, but he's careful to emphasize uncertainty. He's not saying it is alien technology. He's saying we can't rule it out, and the consequences of ignoring the possibility are too severe. I want to be clear about my own position. I'm a science communicator, not a researcher. I'm synthesizing publicly available information, peer-reviewed papers, and expert interviews. My job is to present the arguments fairly and let you decide. But here's what I believe. Loeb is asking the right questions. The anomalies are real. The explanations are incomplete. Whether 3IATLAS is natural or artificial, we should investigate it with the rigor it deserves. So, what can you do about this? First, stay informed. Subscribe and turn on notifications. When data drops, I'll analyze it and break it down for you. Second, demand transparency. Contact your representatives, write to NASA, ask why the Mars images haven't been released. Public pressure matters. Third, support the Galileo project. Loeb's initiative is privately funded and needs resources. And finally, think about what first contact might actually look like. It won't be Hollywood aliens in flying saucers. It'll be ambiguous data, anomalous observations, heated scientific debates, uncertainty stretching over years. That's how real discovery works: messy, slow, contentious, but ultimately illuminating. Tomorrow, October 29th, 3IATLAS reaches Perihelion. We won't see it, but we'll know soon enough if Loeb's 40% estimate was prescient or paranoid. Either way, the journey to answer that question will teach us something about the universe, about ourselves, and about how prepared we are to join the cosmic community, if one exists. Thank you for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments. What's your estimate? 0% alien? 50%? 100? And more importantly, should we be scared or excited? I'm genuinely curious where you stand on this. The universe is full of mysteries. Let's solve them together.